Hello, welcome to Verbling. Hi there, I'm teacher Oakley, and today we're going to continue our little mini-series at this time slot here on Verbling, in which we're going to talk about continuous verb tenses. Today we will tackle past continuous verb tense. Yesterday, present. Yesterday was the present, today's the past. Wow, crazy. Tomorrow will be the future. Yes, it will. Okay. And in any case, we'll be looking at past continuous tense, how it is formed, and the various uses. You, the students, will then practice forming sentences in the past continuous for these various uses of the verb tense. Okay, and we will also pick up some extra information about continuous tenses along the way. Okay, so first of all, let me welcome Heidi. Hello, Heidi.
Hello, nice to see you again.
As always, how are you today?
Today I attended 2 lessons for Espanol. I was frustrated.
Frustrated? Uh-oh. Okay, well, maybe we can build your confidence back up with some English. Okay. Anyway, welcome to the class. Hello again, Igor. Nice to have you back.
Hello.
Hi again. Hello again, Nader.
Hey again.
Again. Okay. B is also with us.
Yes, yeah.
Yes, you are. Hi, B. How are you?
I'm
Oh, nice. Okay, look at this, guys. Here's. Oh, it doesn't work anymore. Nader, I could see your beautiful view there for a second. It was cool. Anyway.
Sorry.
I was trying to share it with the class. B, nice to see you, and also welcome Felipe. Hey, Felipe, how are you? Okay, and bye. Come on back, Felipe. Okay, plenty of room for others who would like to join us. Oh, nice. Okay, let's see if I can share this with everyone. Look at that. I'm jealous of Nader. Are you all jealous? So it looks like a lovely morning at the ocean. Okay.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Looks great. Okay. Felipe.
What's the temperature now in Philippines?
What's that? I'm sorry?
What is the temperature now in Philippines?
What is
The weather like now? Temperature.
Temperature. Oh, what is the temperature? Okay, I missed it because of the article. What is the temperature now? This is actually the best time of year because it's livable, not too hot. It's usually in 25 to 28 range. So 25 is okay. Kind of nice, actually. And there's a breeze. So it's nice here now.
Are you in Philippines now?
I am B. Yes. Yes, B. Indeed, I am. Okay, Felipe, are you in now?
Yeah, now. Yeah,
Now
the first
you're
time I couldn't hear anything, but now I'm hearing you.
Great, and I can hear you perfectly. Super. So let's get started learning about past continuous. Okay, the form for past continuous using the past verb to be, was or were, depending on which person we're talking in. He was, I was, she was, it was, or plurals, they were, we were. And the present participle, which is the ing form of the verb. Okay, very simply what it looks like in examples. You, the subject noun, and then the verb construction. We're studying when she called. Okay, all right. We have a time clause here. Make note of that. In a question, as always, the first auxiliary or helper verb, which helps make the verb form, will be reversed with the subject noun. So in a question form, were you studying when she called? And finally, in the negative, you were not studying when she called. Notice placement of not is following the first auxiliary or helper verb. Of course, you would commonly hear this spoken as you weren't studying in a contracted form. Okie doke. Those are the basics. Now let's look at the uses. All right. Use number one. Looking at the diagram here. The diagram is attempting to show you an interrupted action in the past. Okay, so one use of the past continuous is to show a longer action, which would be the red line here in the diagram. The interruption is a shorter action represented by the purple X here, which is usually in the simple past. Okay, so the continuous action, continuous tense, is the red line, and the purple X would be simple past, bam, one-time action. This can be a real interruption, an action, or just an interruption in time. Okay, so let's look at examples so we can see what we're talking about. Let me quickly welcome Pablo. Hello, Pablo. Welcome to the class.
Hello,
Pablo.
how are you?
There we go. I'm good. I'm excellent.
Hello?
Thank you very much.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. Thank you. Thank you very much. And we'll get back to you in just a minute so you can practice forming a sentence. 4, interrupted action in the past. So here's some examples. I, subject noun, was watching TV when she called. Okay, I was watching TV, the red line. When she called, ring, ring, the purple X. Okay, notice this action, even the continuous action, the red line, began in the past, it ended in the past. We don't know maybe exactly when in the past, but we know that this action was interrupted by another action. Okay, she called. Okay. All right, notice we can reverse our clauses. What we have here, when is a subordinator, which forms a subordinate clause or a dependent clause. When the phone rang is not a sentence. It will never be a sentence. It is an incomplete sentence because it is an incomplete thought. So, if we want to have the subordinate clause first in the sentence, when the phone rang, I need to have a comma to separate the two clauses. Okay, so it's equally valid to either way. It makes no difference, writer or speaker's preference. If I say when the phone rang, she was writing a letter, or if I say she was writing a letter when the phone rang. Notice when I have the subordinate clause second, I do not need a comma. There's no comma in this first example, but I need one in the second example. Okay, so it makes no difference what order I put these clauses. Notice when with the simple past. Well, taking a look at our next example, while we were having the picnic, it started to rain. Again, my subordinate clause, this time starting with while. Well, looky here, it goes with past continuous. So while shows duration. It indicates something happening over a period of time. So when I use while, the while clause is going to have, of course, the verb that indicates duration or over a period of time. While we're having the picnic, it started to rain. Again, simple past in our other clause. So same idea basically going on here. Question form, we have our question word first. What were, okay, the first auxiliary, then the subject. What were you doing when? There it is again. When the earthquake started. Again, simple past. I was listening to my iPod, so I didn't hear the fire alarm. Okay. iPods can be dangerous. Okay, notice this time it is not necessary. All of our examples so far have used when and while, but it is not necessary. We can also use other connectives, like so, for example, here. I was listening to my iPod, so I didn't hear the fire alarm. Okay. Negative, but negative, simple past tense. Same idea, just different connective. Okay, you're not listening to me when I told you to turn the oven off. All right, same thing. Okay. Again, while John was sleeping last night, again, you notice while with the continuous. Someone stole his car. All right, the rest are pretty much all the same. Make note here in a conversation, what were you doing when you broke your leg? Okay, the first question, but this is in a conversation. I was snowboarding. Use of past continuous, but of course it is already understood that he's talking about I was snowboarding when he broke his leg. So it doesn't need to be repeated. This is important actually, not only in speaking, do we drop time clauses that indicate verb tenses, but also in writing. When you have a long paragraph, you may have a time clause in the beginning of a paragraph which affects verb tenses throughout the paragraph. This is very common, and this can be very confusing sometimes. All right, so it is not, time clauses do not necessarily have to be repeated over and over and over in each sentence. But speaking about writing, it would have to be repeated in the next paragraph. All right, you can't ride on a single time phrase for an entire novel, for example. You're going to have to reintroduce a time clause for each paragraph at least. So there are boundaries as far as that's concerned, that idea. Okay, let's try it out. Heidi, I'm going to start with you. All right, again, what you're trying to do, form a sentence with an interrupted action in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, give it a shot.
Okay. Okay. I was walking down the sidewalk when a car honked.
Okay.
I looked at the street.
Are you writing a novel? Is this another sentence? New sentence?
Yeah. Then I looked at the street. Poor dog was crossing the street.
Okay, then I looked. What was
I
it
looked
again?
at the street.
Okay.
At the street, a poor dog was crossing.
Okay. Okay. We need. Okay. This, your first sentence, is completely correct. Okay. Definitely walking a continuous action, introduced, interrupted by when, a car, simple past. Very good. Then, okay, optionally I can put a comma here. Then I looked at the street. Okay, we would not use this preposition. we would either use, if you looked at the street, that literally means you look straight down at the pavement under your feet. So that's not right. So you could look up or down, okay? In English, you look up the street, you look down the street. You walk up the street, you walk down the street. It makes no difference. They're interchangeable, really, for the same meaning. I looked up the street. Okay, we need some kind of connective here, because here we have the past simple. We need something, a when,
When?
where. Okay.
When?
When, okay, when a poor dog was crossing. I looked up the street, was crossing. Okay. Well, here, okay, if you noticed earlier in the examples, when introduces the clause with the simple past. So I can't use when. Let's try while.
Why?
While a poor dog was crossing. Okay. Actually, that makes grammatical sense, although it sounds a little weird. Grammatically, that is correct.
If we put when, is it wrong? Is that right?
If you put when, it's not really correct. You can't use when to introduce a past continuous.
Before the very similar lesson, teacher put when. So I asked him when it's okay, when be doing something, it's okay. He said, yeah, it's okay.
Okay. Like this, when a poor dog was crossing?
Yes, yes.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all. What's that?
Why not say that the poor dog was crossing? It's like, crossing what? You really need to specify what was crossed.
Yes, I haven't got to that far yet, but I agree with you. Yes.
Then I thought it very strange. Later, I sent a message. Then he returned some message, exchanged some message. So finally, we understood.
Okay.
Even when it's okay, he said.
It is. All right. I'm going to have to get back to you that on tomorrow's class. I don't believe it is. But, okay, I could be wrong. I think it's awkward at the very least. And the other thing is, okay, here's the thing, all right? Maybe it's okay if I do something else. All right? I was looking up the street when a poor dog was crossing. Then it's okay. Now I don't have a problem with it. Because now I'm looking at two simultaneous parallel actions.
I am looking, or I looking.
Sorry?
Okay. I am looking for a. Then I looking up the street. It's it black.
Oh yeah. You're right. I was looking up the street.
I was okay.
Right. You're right. You're absolutely correct. I just spaced that out for a second. Okay. I was looking up the street when a poor dog was crossing. Okay. And saw it get hit by a car. Okay. Now something like this, I don't have a problem with.
No. I don't say was looking because it's only
I think teacher right.
short time. I looked up.
Okay, well, if you want looked up, okay, I don't think when is
I don't want to
appropriate.
say I was looking.
Okay, I was just pointing out when would be appropriate. I don't believe when is appropriate here. I don't think this is right. I disagree with your other teacher. I'm sorry to say. I could be wrong. And I do agree with Igor, however, no matter what, we can't just say crossing, because without an object noun, it's a little vague. We don't really know what's going on. So
sorry, but can you just abolish this when and when? I'll just say, I looked up the street that the poor dog was crossing.
well, there you go. What is your connective?
That.
That? No, that is not going to work.
Or which? What? Or maybe what?
How about where? You're talking about a place up the street.
Where?
It's okay.
Okay, I looked up the street where a poor dog was crossing. Okay, now I don't even need this object noun. Now this makes much more sense to me. This is what I would definitely have used anyway, because we're talking about a place, not a when. Anyway, it's very odd to talk about. Okay. It seems odd to me to use when in any case because, okay, I looked up the street.
Why can't we refer to the street with that? It's kind of, I don't know.
That, okay, all right. Let me see, maybe you can. I looked up the street. Oh, I looked up the street that a poor dog was crossing. Yeah. Okay. I guess you could. Seems a little... I guess you could. All right, I'm sorry. I guess that would be okay. Sure. It just seems a little odd in context because I looked up, walked down the sidewalk when a car honked, then I looked up the street that a poor dog was crossing. Just seems slightly odd to me that you would have to say, you have to define the street with the information that a poor dog was crossing because you're already walking down the sidewalk. We've already defined what street you're on. You're on the street you're walking on. So it's odd to redefine again. It's odd.
Yeah, so I agree with you. I think where a poor duck was crossing is better.
Yeah.
Like you looked where, not that.
Okay. In any case, all right. I could do more research, but anyway, the whole thing with when okay, I looked up the street when a poor dog. If I use when, I'm sorry, but I'm forced to use when a poor dog crossed. Okay. Think about it this way. When means, what does when mean? It means at the moment. Okay. Okay, so this is a purple X, wham. This is one action. Okay. At the moment, that's what when means. So okay. I did the dishes when my wife was sleeping. No, when my wife slept. Okay. I did the dishes while my wife was sleeping. She's doing an action over time. I don't know. Can't reconcile the when. I just can't do it in my mind. Sorry. To me, when indicates a time which is a specific time and not a continuous. It just does. I can double check on that for you and get back to you in tomorrow's class, but as far as I'm concerned, can't be done. Okay, Igor, give it a try.
Oh my god. I was watching a hockey game when I counted out
I was watching a hockey game.
When I count out.
Yeah, I like that. All right, that's a good one. I like this phrasal verb. When I conked out. Okay, I mean, that's good. All right, he suddenly fell asleep. He conked out. That's a great verb. Okay. Cool. That works just fine. Nader, do you want to try?
When I was running. When I was running.
Okay, here we go again. All right.
I stumbled over a little bit.
I stumbled. What?
Over? Can we use over? Over a
Yeah.
little bit. A little bit.
Oh. I see. A little bit. Okay. I stumbled over a little bit. Yeah.
A little baby.
A little baby. Oh my God. A little baby. Oh my God. Oh, now over makes a lot of sense. Okay. Yeah, you stumble over something. There. Yeah, that does make sense. I really have to tell you, I still don't like when I was running. I just don't like it.
Why running?
Why even do it? Why bother when while is so much better a word, regardless of arguing grammar or semantics? I don't understand the purpose. Yeah.
The purpose of what?
Using when here instead of while. I don't get it. Because while means duration during the time of I was running. Okay, well, that.
I see.
Okay.
Because, with time phrases, first choice is winner.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And B. You want to give it a try here?
While the car was running, it
Okay.
it is hit by another car, by a truck. It is hit by a truck.
Okay, but the car was running, so we can't use present tense here. So this can't be it, B. Not possible.
It means the car is hit by another car.
Right, I know, but okay. Going back to our graph, while the car was running is a red line here in the past. It is right. It was. You're putting your purple X up here, so they're two completely separate actions the way you have it. Right.
That's on the phone.
Right. It was hit by another car.
By another car.
Okay. Okay. Felipe, give it a try.
Sorry, may I ask a question?
Sure.
So we were talking about this while and when thing, but
Yeah.
for example, you have this phrase like, it was great while it lasted. Well, it's while, not when it lasted.
Yeah, it was great while it lasted. Yeah, because I can't say it was lasting because that's a state. You're talking about a state, all right? Which we're going to get to that. I was actually mentioning this to you in the last class. You can't use stative verbs, a state. Last is a state, okay? The movie lasted 2 hours. I can't say the movie was lasting 2 hours. It's just not.
The verb itself is a continuous action.
Yeah. Okay, well, it's a state of being. Yeah, the sky is blue. That is a continuous action. The sky continues to be blue. It was blue yesterday. It'll be blue tomorrow. I cannot say the sky is being blue. Right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a state.
Well, you can say that
the
the sky is being gray, for example.
No, you can't. No,
Well,
actually.
for example, if you're like, right now the sky is gray, can you say that the
Yeah.
sky is gray?
Well, you can use be with the ing in a continuous form when you say it's acting a certain way. So does the sky act a certain way? I mean, a child is being bad. The child can act that way. But if you believe the sky has a volition and a will of its own and can make conscious decisions, then I suppose the sky could be being gray. But I don't believe that. I don't believe in sky gods. Sorry.
Yeah, got it.
It is very interesting. Okay, I have a private student that I tutor, and we are delving into, in a very, very technical way, stative and dynamic verbs. And I will tell you that it is exquisitely, excruciatingly complicated. It is so complex, and it is completely different. I've had to delve into Hebrew, Swahili, Italian, the Romance languages, how it changed from Greek. The idea or the concept of what is stative, what exists. You're virtually asking yourself, what is life? And my God, man, this is a huge philosophical question which no one has yet satisfactorily answered. So when you're actually dealing with this whole idea of stative verbs cannot be continuous, you are actually asking, what is life itself? Which is enormously complicated. All right? Not sugarcoating it at all for you. This is very complex, super complex. And it is a matter of semantics and your perception, really. So, but to make it much simpler, don't worry about it, because you could drive yourself insane worrying about the meaning of life forever. So don't worry about it so much. Just whatever seems right to you is probably going to be right. And the fact is, native English speakers never pay any attention to this stuff. R.E. McDonald saying, I'm loving it. Obviously, corporations don't care. Normal speakers don't care. Oh, I'm hating this meeting. It's taking forever. They will use even stative verbs in a continuous form and never give it a second thought. No one actually cares. Here's the thing. Here's the rub. If you're really rule-oriented, you can drive yourself absolutely nuts thinking about this whole idea. But make it easy on yourself would be my advice. Don't take it too seriously. Because it will drive you crazy. It really will. Because there are many verbs that can be stative or dynamic, meaning they can be continuous or not continuous, depending on exactly how you phrase the sentence, not even just the context. So it's very mind-boggling, to be perfectly honest. Okay, we've scared off some people now. Great, thanks a lot. Okay, super. Felipe, you want to try this out?
Okay. I was watching a girl when I fell off the bike.
That's great.
A real situation.
A real situation. Thank you for bringing us back to reality. Yes. Okay, great. Excellent. Okay. Very realistic situation and very practical use of present continuous, of past continuous. Very good. Good one. Okay.
Can we say, I was at her house or at her home when she was screaming at her child, while she was yelling at her child?
Okay, I was
at her home when she was yelling at her child.
Ah, okay. Well, maybe. Oh, okay. Well, maybe Heidi's right here. When she was yelling at her child, I was at her home. Okay. This, when she was yelling at her child. When she was yelling at her child.
Was yelling at her child.
Yes, you can, but okay, all right. Again, I cannot say.
Or
Right.
well,
You were at her house for a long time. You must have been, because you were there the whole time that she, over duration, was yelling at her child. I cannot say I was being at her home, which in fact is what you're saying. So again, this is what I'm talking about. You can't use the verb to be as a continuous. So again, this is okay to use when because you're talking about what you're actually talking about is two parallel actions. All right, both of these actions take duration. No?
maybe she was yelling at her child for like 5 minutes, and I was there for a moment.
It was the same example for the example of height.
No.
Without being,
Well,
I was at her home.
Similar. Yes, but how can you instantaneously be? How can that be an instant action? Hey there. Bam! You're there. Bam! You're gone. Unless you're in.
No. I was. Were you there? Like I was at the bank when it was being stolen.
Yeah. Okay.
Like a coincidence.
Right. You were being at the bank. You were existing at the bank. That is a state. It is a state. Okay. And you were there for a period of time. Whether that period of time was 6 nanoseconds or not, it is a continuous action. That's my point. You just can't get around from. Okay, it's a matter of how you think about it. I understand. It's different in different languages. But I am here. Okay. That actually is a continuous action. I am being here. All right.
I was staying at her home.
I was staying at her home. Yeah. Well, that clearly is a duration. So, okay. So here's where I understand it can be confusing. You see when and you see when to introduce this continuous action, but it has to be two continuous actions happening at once, not an interrupting action.
For example, like I sneaked out of her house when she was yelling at her child. Won't be alright.
Okay, let's sneak.
I snuck out. Yes, snuck
yeah,
out.
right, snuck. Thank you.
I snuck out of her house when she was yelling at her child. It's like she was still yelling. She didn't yell.
Okay.
I don't think that this is really so continuous even as she was yelling. Like when, maybe it's okay.
Okay. Okay, I snuck out of her house when she was yelling at her child. Again, I would most certainly make this while.
So no one.
I would make this while. I don't know why you guys are insisting on making a when for a continuous tense.
think
I don't get it. It's pointless. I just don't understand.
Yes, I think while is preferred.
Yeah, it just makes a lot more sense.
That's.
I don't know.
I
don't know why we have to bother.
If
really,
we reverse this sentence, we can do while. Maybe when she was yelling at her child, I was She was yelling at her child while I snuck. When
Well,
I snuck.
yeah, there you go. Like this. When I snuck out of the house, she was yelling at her child. Makes perfect sense to me.
Yes. Or
Okay.
she was yelling at her child when I snuck out of her house.
Yeah, either way, you can always trade the phrases back and forth as well. Yeah.
Okay, so I was at her home. It doesn't work.
Oh no, it works fine. This is a
Okay,
perfectly fine sentence, but you have to. I just want you to understand this is a continuous.
yes,
You know
yes, no problem. I'm just asking if we have other if I have other uses of for the verb for the past continuous. So it doesn't have to be an interruption. That's my point.
Yes, that is true, but of course I'm getting fought tooth and nail to get anywhere in this lesson, so I can't actually show you that. I keep showing you that, actually, parallel actions, all right? When you use past continuous with two actions in the same sentence, it expresses the idea that both actions were happening at the same time. Okay, I was studying while he was making a dinner. Okay, even here, you know, all of these sentences, you're usually going to use while just simply because it makes more sense. While is the time word that means duration. So, you know, it would be odd to say when Alan was reading, Tim was watching television. And it would be odd. I was studying when he was making dinner. Would still be quite strange. Okay. Anyway, yes, we can use we can use it to talk about two parallel actions. Okay.
Okay,
Wow.
thank you.
Sure. All right. Not only, maybe, I don't know if this will help, whatever, it doesn't have to be an interrupting action. It can also be a specific time as an interruption. Instead of a shorter action in the simple past, you can also use a specific time as an interruption. For example, with just a time clause, last night I was at 6 p.m., sorry, I was eating dinner. All right. So here the purple X we see is the time clause. And the red continuous is past continuous. At midnight, all right, specific time, we were still driving through the desert. So it's very common to see the adverb still in this usage to designate that you were in the middle of that action. Yesterday at this time, I was sitting at my desk at work. Okay. All right. In the simple past, a specific time is used to show when an action began or finished. In the past continuous, a specific time only interrupts the action. Okay. So, for example, last night at 6 p.m., I ate dinner. That would indicate that the person started to eat at 6 p.m. As opposed to last night at 6 p.m. I was eating dinner. That suggests he's in the middle, somewhere in the middle. We don't know where, near the beginning, near the ending, we don't know. It's not spoken. So, okay. So all right, well, that's important. All right, let me just try to get to these other uses. Okay, you can talk about two actions that happen at the same time, or even more. They were eating dinner, discussing their plans, and having a good time. Okay, fine. Notice when you more or less list a bunch of things, you do not need to repeat the auxiliary or the helper verb. They were eating, discussing, having. All right, I don't need to keep repeating the auxiliary verb. Of course, you will have sentences where you change your verb tense you cannot recycle the auxiliary verb if you're changing the verb tense, which is basically what we're doing here. We're recycling it. We're just using one subject with multiple verbs and objects. Okay, another kind of use is to talk about the atmosphere of a place. In English, we often use a series of parallel actions to describe the atmosphere at a particular time in the past. All right, so...
may I interrupt you?
Sure.
Can I say something like, 10 minutes ago, we were still trying to get to a meeting?
Okay, let's take a look. Ten minutes ago. Okay.
We were still trying.
Yeah. Okay.
Trying to get to the meeting.
10 minutes ago, we were still trying to get to the meeting. Sure you can. Okay. Let's see. Let's take a look at specific time as an interruption. Okay, 10 minutes ago would be the purple X. All right. We were somewhere in the middle of trying to get to the meeting. Now, again, okay, we don't know where the present is in this statement 10 minutes ago. So it's okay. You know, 10 minutes ago is still 10 minutes ago. It's a relatively short time ago, but...
Just, you know why I ask? Because a lot of teachers say that if you see a go, then use past simple. There is no way around that. And so, right now, I came up with this idea in my head. It's like, 10 minutes ago, I was still doing this, and it sounded okay to me. So I started to question myself here.
We were still trying to get to the meeting 10 minutes ago. Okay. Well, 10 minutes ago is just there is no time with that. That wouldn't make sense. We tried to get to the. It means something completely different. Obviously, if you say 10 minutes ago, we tried to get to the meeting.
Yeah, it would be another meaning. It's like,
totally different meaning.
We tried, but no one knows if we were successful.
That's exactly right. Exactly. It would indicate that you didn't have any success. Right. Yeah, 10 minutes ago we tried to get to the meeting. Yeah, okay, and then we gave up. And it's over now, and we're never going to try again. 10 minutes ago we were still trying to get to the meeting. Now I'm not sure if they're still trying to get to the meeting, or if they made it to the meeting or not. I don't know, because this is only talking about that a duration, an action of duration in the past. No, I think this is perfectly okay. I don't see any problem with this. Okay. Okay. Also, we can talk more, I don't know, style use. We use past continuous to talk about a series of parallel actions to describe the atmosphere at a particular time in the past. When I walked into the office, several people were busily typing. Some were talking on the phones. The boss was yelling directions. The customers were waiting to be helped. Okay, we're just listing a whole bunch of past continuous actions that were all going on at the same time to sort of describe what the place was like. Okay. This is a common usage, basically to give setting, speaking or writing to explain a setting of a certain place. Okay, also past continuous with words such as always or constantly express the idea that something irritating or shocking often happened in the past. Okay, it's somewhat similar to used to, but it's always negative. Okay. Really, you kind of have to use always or constantly between the verb to be and the verbing. Okay. All right, here we go. While versus when. All right. Clauses are groups of words which have meaning, but they're not complete sentences. Some clauses begin with the word when, such as when she called or when it bit me. Other clauses begin with while, such as while she was sleeping, while he was surfing. When you talk about things in the past, when is most often followed by the verb tense simple past, whereas while is usually followed by past continuous. Okay, so there it is. I mean, it says usually, not absolutely always, but normal cases, yeah. While expresses duration of time. Okay. So I can say I was studying when she called. While I was studying, she called. What is the difference? It emphasizes a different part of the sentence. Oh boy. Okay.
Sorry.
Yes.
Maybe annoying, but I have to ask this.
Sure.
So you have this sort of like always, constantly, but what about other words that may indicate duration? For example, like persistently, relentlessly, consistently.
Okay. All right. Well, this is more of a colloquial type. Okay, let's see. She was. Well, I guess you can do it. Sure. She was coming late to class, for example. Okay. Sure. Now, you know what? She was consistently. Sounds weird to me. This whole always, constantly thing. All right. All right. Let me say it how I would normally say it with the intonation. She was consistently. No, I would not do it. I would say she was consistently late to class, even if I was angry about it. I would just not use. She was consistently coming late to class, but. This, of course, is another version of this first example. She was always coming late. She was always coming to class late. Just sounds weird.
For example, he was consistently freaking me out. Or just
he consistently freaked me out. Yeah.
What about relentlessly?
Yeah, I think it's the same thing. Honestly, I think what the deal here is they're grammatically correct, but just semantically in the language, nobody says it that way, so it sounds a little odd. It's completely understandable, and I suppose that grammatically speaking, it's correct. All right? It just sounds weird because I've never heard anyone say that before in my entire 52 years of life. Okay? Ever. That's the point. It is grammatically correct. In English, things can be grammatically correct, but no one ever does it. So it sounds odd when a native speaker hears it. And sometimes we have to ask for repetition because I've never heard it said that way. I think that's one of the cases here, where what your examples you're giving me are perfectly grammatically correct, but just sounds weird.
Yeah, that's often
how we say it. Yeah. Well, English is like that. You're dealing with collocations and such. There's many cases where this happens, actually. Okay. Just really quickly, the passive form, the salesman was helping the customer when their thief came to the store. This is active. Of course, I'm going to take the object in a passive form, and I'm going to make the object the subject. The action happens to the object. The customer was being helped by the salesman when the thief came into the store. All right. That's the structure. Was being. The verb to be gets the ing form, and then the verb is past participle. Past. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's it for that class. Throw that away. All right. I'd like to say I enjoyed that, but that would not necessarily be true. Okay, thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
For sticking
Thank
with
you.
me. Appreciate it. And bye-bye for now.